The year was 1620. England was in turmoil, a nation divided by religious strife and political unrest. Religious differences sparked heated debates and bitter persecution, tearing communities apart and sowing seeds of discord. A group of devout Christians, known to history as the Pilgrims, longed for a life free from these constraints. They sought a sanctuary where they could practice their faith without fear. They yearned for a place where they could worship according to their conscience, without fear of reprisal. Their dreams were filled with visions of a new world where freedom reigned. These separatists, as they were then called, believed the Church of England was corrupt and sought to break away entirely. They rejected the established norms and sought a purer form of worship. Their beliefs, deemed radical by the English authorities, made life in their homeland increasingly untenable. They faced constant scrutiny and the threat of imprisonment. Facing persecution and imprisonment, they made the momentous decision to leave England behind, seeking refuge and religious freedom in the New World. It was a heart-wrenching choice, leaving behind everything they knew. Driven by faith and a yearning for liberty, the Pilgrims embarked on a perilous journey across the vast Atlantic. The sea was unforgiving, and the journey was fraught with danger. Leaving behind their homes and loved ones, they set sail aboard the Mayflower, a small, cramped merchant ship, ill-equipped for such a long and arduous voyage. The conditions were harsh, and the journey tested their resolve. Their destination, Virginia, a distant land, promising new beginnings and, most importantly, religious autonomy. They dreamed of a place where they could build a new life. They carried with them the hopes of a people desperate for freedom, their hearts filled with both trepidation and unwavering faith. Their prayers were constant, seeking guidance and strength. The Pilgrims' journey was not merely a voyage to a new land. It was a pilgrimage for the soul, a quest for a place where they could live and worship freely, according to the dictates of their own conscience. Their arrival marked the beginning of a new chapter in their quest for religious freedom. The Mayflower set sail from Plymouth, England on September 6, 1620, embarking on a perilous journey across the vast Atlantic Ocean. The ship, crammed with over 100 passengers and crew, was a floating microcosm of hope and despair, each individual carrying their own dreams and fears. The passengers' faces reflected a mix of emotions, from hopeful anticipation to deep-seated worry about the unknown future that lay ahead. The conditions on board were cramped and unsanitary, with little room to move and even less privacy. Passengers endured seasickness, storms and disease, with many struggling to maintain their health and spirits. The journey was fraught with danger from the outset, as the small vessel faced the relentless power of the ocean. Fierce storms battered the small vessel, tossing it about like a toy in the vast ocean, testing the limits of both the ship and its passengers. Cramped quarters, inadequate rations, and the constant fear of disease added to their misery, making each day a struggle for survival. Many passengers fell ill, and some did not survive the journey, their dreams ending in the cold, unforgiving sea. The Pilgrims' faith was tested like never before as they faced the harsh realities of their voyage. Yet amidst the hardships, their spirits remained unbroken, finding strength in their shared purpose and solidarity. They held fast to their beliefs, finding solace in prayer and the company of their fellow travelers, drawing strength from their unity. Their resilience and determination in the face of such adversity speak volumes about their character, showcasing their unwavering resolve. They refused to let the perils of the journey extinguish the flame of hope that burned brightly within their hearts, looking forward to the promise of a new beginning. After 66 long and arduous days at sea, battling relentless waves and fierce winds, the Mayflower finally reached land on November 11th, 1620. The sight of land brought a mix of relief and trepidation. However, it was not the warm, fertile shores of Virginia that greeted them. Instead, they were met with a stark and barren coastline. Instead, they found themselves much further north, at Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The cold, rocky shores were a far cry from their intended destination. The Pilgrims had been blown off course by the treacherous storms that plagued their journey, pushing them hundreds of miles away from their planned landing. This unexpected landing presented them with a new set of challenges. They had to quickly adapt to their new environment. The New England winter was harsh and unforgiving, with snow and ice covering the landscape. The land was unfamiliar and unforgiving, offering little respite from the elements. The Pilgrims had to contend with freezing temperatures and relentless winds. The Pilgrims faced starvation, disease, and conflicts with the native inhabitants. These challenges tested their endurance and unity. The first winter in the New World was brutal. Many settlers struggled to survive the freezing conditions. Many succumbed to scurvy, pneumonia, and other diseases. The lack of proper nutrition and shelter exacerbated their suffering. Food was scarce, and the harsh conditions tested their resolve to the core. They had to ration their meager supplies carefully. Yet, amidst these hardships, the Pilgrims found the strength to persevere. Their determination and faith kept them going. They were aided by Squanto, a Native American who had learned English and taught them how to cultivate the land and fish the waters. His guidance was invaluable in helping them adapt to their new home. Section 4. The Mayflower Compact, a covenant forged in unity. Before disembarking the Mayflower, the Pilgrims realized that they needed a set of rules to govern themselves in this new land. They were far from English law and authority, and their original charter was no longer valid. Recognizing the need for unity and order, 41 male passengers gathered in the ship's cramped cabin. There, they drafted and signed a document that would become a cornerstone of American democracy, the Mayflower Compact. The Mayflower Compact was a simple yet profound document. It was not a constitution but a social contract. In it, the Pilgrims agreed to form a civil body politic and to abide by just and equal laws for the general good of the colony. This agreement established the principle of self-government, a radical concept at the time. It acknowledged that government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed, a principle that would resonate throughout American history. Section 5. Seeds of Self-Governance. The Compact's Influence on Colonial Life. The Mayflower Compact, though simple in its language, laid the groundwork for a self-governing society in Plymouth Colony. It established the principle of majority rule, with each adult male colonist having a voice in the affairs of the colony. This democratic ideal, though limited in its initial scope, would have a profound impact on the development of American democracy. The Mayflower Compact fostered a sense of unity and cooperation among the Pilgrims. They had endured a perilous journey and faced unimaginable hardships together. This shared experience, coupled with their commitment to self-governance, created a strong bond within the colony. The compact served as a reminder that their survival and prosperity depended on their ability to work together and support one another.